All right, we're official. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube. Again, this is going to be on Pace's YouTube as well. Pace told me that I can stream live on his YouTube a couple of times. Obviously, not everyone who follows him knows who I am or what I do, but I am Pace's real estate agent as well as his wife. And right now, the last time I went up, we were listing our latest fix and flip that took us almost 3 years to get to that point. And we went through the weekend and it's Monday and we sold it. So I thought it would be kind of cool to show everyone what it looks like when I open Escrow. So this is going to be super short, but it'll be fun to check out, right? So hi, everybody. And I'm on Instagram as well. So if anyone wants to watch me there, you can do that too. So I am going to share my screen. All right, this looks absolutely insane. It creates like this. I don't know. I don't even know what you would call it. So I'm going to go into our Slack and let everyone know that we're official. We are official. We accepted the offer, opening Escrow now. So let's see. And I'm going to tag Pace's business partner for his fix and flip business, Cody Barton. And I'm also going to be tag our operations manager. So here's, the agent. I'm going to leave all the buyer's information out so no one can see it because it's just not appropriate. But I'm going to send her back everything that was signed. And then so that can go to her. And then I also now I need to get her, and she's fantastic. I am really enjoying doing things. And if anybody remembers from my last video, so I title every email what it is, and then I put the property address. And the reason why I do that is because I want to be able to easily search things, and not everyone's going to feel the same. So this is going to sound really silly, but has anyone ever sent an email to somebody and you send them a document that needs to be signed, you send them a question, and they maybe respond to your question, but they don't send back the document, and then you're like, did I send them this? Did I ask for this? And it just becomes all convoluted because it does seem like a lot of people have that attention span where it's like, if you ask them 3 things at once, they're going to only remember 1. So I'm going to send this to the buyer's agent. This is our clue report. What a clue report is: an insurance claims history loss report, which means, have you ever filed a homeowner's insurance claim? Of course, we haven't. That's like super rare that we would do that for a fix and flip. So I'm getting this over. And if anybody remembers, I asked Pace and Cody's homeowner's insurance agent for this on their behalf. And this is something that you can do as a realtor as just a really simple value add to your investor. Because again, this is, when you're doing this, it's, you want to make sure that you can do whatever you can to take some of this weird extra paperwork type of stuff off of their plate. So I know Pace and Cody's homeowner's insurance agent. I know the homeowner's insurance agents for my other investors, and I'm able to, when I list their properties, save them that extra step of having to request this themselves. And I just go ahead and ask them. I'll just copy the homeowner's insurance agent. I'll copy my investor and I'll say, hey, can I get a clue report for this? So I already got it, and I'm just going to send it over to the buyer's agent. And the reason why you do this for buyers is because they need to know if a homeowner's insurance claim was filed by you, because that will affect their homeowner's insurance rates. So it's like with anything else. This is an insurance product. So if you can imagine a car that, got in a car accident, and, you file a homeowner or a car insurance claim, your car insurance, how much you're going to pay is going to go up. And the same thing is true for homes. So I'm just going to tell her, please see attached clue report. And then I'm also going to send her my CBS code for her inspections. Oops, where did that little go? So again, she's going to be like a little bit annoyed with me up front, because I'm like sending her multiple emails, but this is a good way for me to stay organized to make sure that I've sent her everything. So, um, so I'm going to send that to her separately, and I'm not going to post it live on YouTube just for liability reasons, but I'll send her our mechanical lockbox code too. So that way she can get her home and termite inspector in. And if her buyer wants to do any other inspections during their inspection period, they can do that. So I just am making sure I give her access. So I'll send that here just a second when I come off. Just for, full disclosure, what our offer looks like. So if anyone remembers, we went up at 419 and we are under contract. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. I want to make sure I don't give any of the buyer's information to anybody just for privacy reasons. But we ended up we listed for 419 and we sold for 430 conventional, with a small appraisal gap. What is an appraisal gap? So an appraisal gap is if the property doesn't appraise for what the buyer offered. So the buyer offered 430,000. So in the event that the home doesn't appraise for that, it opens up a second negotiation. By doing an appraisal gap amount up front, the buyer is pre-negotiating that, and they're saying, hey, in the case that the home doesn't appraise, here's how much cash we'd be willing to come up for the difference. So pretty cool that we got a little appraisal gap too, because they did go over our list price. So we had a great weekend, tons of showings, multiple offers, and we got a really good buyer. Also, if anyone cares, I'm not going to give away too much information about anything because, again, this is like personal information. But right now, our market is so hot that we have people that are selling their home, which makes sense. You have a retail buyer, seller, and if they need to move for whatever reason, say they want a bigger home, or say they've become empty nesters and they want to downsize, they're having a new baby and they need an extra room. There's a plethora of reasons why a retail, so like an owner occupant buyer or seller, would want to move. And right now is a great time because it is a seller's market. They can get top dollar for their home, but they are now also then becoming a buyer. And being a buyer right now isn't fun. If anyone's been a buyer, you know how hard it is, especially here. There just isn't a lot of inventory. And so you are competing with just so many people, and you're almost having to go way over list price. And if, a lot of people are cash because they've sold their homes or they have a really large down payment, and it's really hard to compete. So this particular people, they are currently staying in an Airbnb. Any short-term rental, you're paying nightly, so you're paying a really high rate. It's also really hard to get a plain rental. And if you are going to if there is like a normal rental, like people aren't like, oh yeah, you can stay in my rental for a month or two. You're having to go to the short-term rental market, which is an Airbnb or a VRBO. And so you're paying per night. And so it's really expensive. This buyer is spending a ton of money each day that they're not in a home. And they loved our home, which makes me super happy. I'm not going to say who it is, if it's a family or whatever, or any of their other reasons other than this is the kind of things that you're running into. And it also, in all honesty, it kind of makes my job a little bit hard because I represent my husband and his business partner, Cody Barton, wonderful person. My first and foremost, responsibility is to my seller. So to them, to make sure that I get them the most amount of money possible. But when you're dealing with a market like this and you have people that are, they don't have anywhere to go, and you have 10 of those people, you feel so bad being the one having to break the news that they didn't get the house. And so, everyone can say stuff about, oh my gosh, you guys are so lucky to be on the selling side of things right now, and must feel nice to make, we listed for 419, we're under contract for 430. That's, 11 grand more than we were planning on. Like, that has to feel so awesome. And yeah, it does. It feels good to make money, but it's at a cost too, because you feel like, at the end of the day, we always want to be part of the solution. Like, we would prefer the home to go to somebody who's going to actually live in it, not an investor. We want to help some of these buyers get a place to live and get out of these like pretty terrible situations that a lot of people are finding themselves in. So the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm now going to do like the please open escrow email. So I'm going to do a couple things off screen, and I'll just tell you what I'm doing before I start sharing my screen again, because I don't want to give any information about, the buyer's name or anything like that. It's a cool story at the end of the day, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm not doing anything inappropriate, and I don't want anybody to, know who everybody is. The other thing that I'll say while I'm working on this is that if you're not doing this with your fix and flips, like if you're taking a piece of property and you're planning on selling it in a short period of time, which should only technically be fix and flips, sorry about that, then you should be doing something called a hold open policy. A lot of us know exactly what this is. So if you do, just, tune out right now. But when you go through purchasing the property, so during acquisition, whatever title you're purchasing the property with, you can tell that title company to do what's called a hold open. So they're leaving your file open, and it saves you money on when you go to sell it on your escrow fees. So again, title companies in Arizona are typically buyer's choice. Like, it's like an unwritten rule that it's the buyer's choice, but it is a negotiable part of the contract. And so this is something to where like you can save a couple $100 by doing that. And you can't do it after the fact. You have to know about it during acquisition. So before you purchase the property, when you're buying it from a wholesaler or you're buying it from a seller, you need to remember to tell your title company. They're not just going to do it automatically because they don't know what you're doing with the property. But if you're planning on flipping it and getting rid of it rather quickly, then you can tell them to do what's called a hold open policy, and that will save you some money. So for this one, this is kind of funky. And again, the only reason why I'm doing this is because I communicated this to the agent. But rather than countering her, the title company, I asked her if it would be all right just to accept her offer as is, no counter, and do an addendum changing the title company. That way we don't have to wait to have an accepted contract. We have an accepted contract now. We're just changing the title company via an addendum rather than a counter. And that's, for multiple reasons. Like, this is a great offer. We like it. There's no reason to keep, like, if people still want to finish their showings that they've already booked, if someone wants to send us a backup offer, sure. But I want to make sure that her buyer feels secure, because I don't want, they're in a situation where they need somewhere to live. Again, they're in an Airbnb. They're paying per night, top dollar. And so I don't want her to feel like, oh, I need to go out and show them more property because this isn't a done deal. I want her to feel confident and go back to her buyer and say, hey, this is a done deal. We're official, and just sign the escrow addendum. However, I wouldn't have done this blindly. I wouldn't have done it and expected her to be okay with us changing the title company and being able to use our hold open policy if I hadn't already talked to her about it. But I talked to her about it today, and I said, hey, do you care if instead of countering you, we just accept the offer and we do an addendum? So I'm just finishing a few things up that is just a little bit of too much personal information. So I hope that no one minds that I'm doing this. This is interesting to do this on live because I want to make sure that I don't do anything inappropriate. So does anyone have any questions for me as like for anything that I'm up to or why I'm doing something a certain way. If you don't, that's totally fine. I'll keep cooking. Hold open. Hi, Nina. Love that. Okay, let's see. Okay. I'm going to do a couple other things really quick. I'm going to send that mechanical lockbox code to the agent. And again, I didn't do that sharing screen because, obviously I don't want that to be everywhere. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish one thing. All right. Okay. So when you open escrow, this is as simple as it gets. So I'm going to share my screen again real quick, if that's all right with everybody. Because I want everyone to see how actually super easy this is. And a couple things that you can do. Okay. Sorry, just doing a couple more things before we get cooking on it. Okay, let's do it. I think we're officially okay to not be doing anything personal. Okay, so you can do as a transaction coordinator or if you're managing your own transactions as an agent, one of the things that I love to do the most is create some templates for yourself for information that you do repeatedly over and over again. I've spoken many times about the benefits of working with an investor, but I'll say it again really quick. I won't get into it too much, but one of the top benefits I find to working with investors is, although I am discounting my commission, and again, agents who are watching this who feel differently about this, you will run into a lot of agents. And I understand the principle of feeling as though you're worth every penny of that typical 3% commission. I get it. I totally get it. And some of you are just going to hate me and you think that I'm destroying, this for other people. But why would an investor want to work with me over somebody else? Number one, I'm a good negotiator. I'm a good communicator. I understand their investing world, but also because a big part of it, and there's no need to beat around the bush in regards to this, a big part of why people use me is because I discount my commission. With an investor at the bottom line, at the end of the day, it's all about their bottom line. So as much as someone might like me, if they're going to have to pay me 3% every time they sell a house, and they're going to sell, one every 2 months, or say 6 every month, that is a ton of money, where there is a million other me's in this world. I'm not, I think I'm a great agent, but there are so many wonderful agents out there. Why would they just not go give another agent the opportunity to list for a discounted fee? So that is one of the reasons why people use me, is because I'm discounted. But if you don't feel as though you should, or you don't want to work with investors because you don't want to discount your commission, I will tell you straight up, you are missing out, because it's all about volume. So if you're going to go work with a retail buyer or seller, you are going to constantly be having to prospect. So you're constantly doing open houses. You're constantly listening to your family and friends, colleagues, anybody. You're doing mailers when you just sold a house in a neighborhood. You're doing just sold postcards. You're farming, you're doing your sphere, you're doing all of these things that they teach a typical retail real estate agent, and you're putting in so much work to find one buyer or one seller. And at the end of that transaction, we are all taught so much. I can say it just rolls off the tip of my tongue. The highest compliment that you can pay me is to give me a referral. Do you have any family or friends who are looking to buy or sell? We all say it. We all hope we get a referral, but most of us don't. And when that retail buyer or seller now is ready to sell their home, which on average in Arizona is between 2 and 5 years, the number one thing that people forget about their real estate agent is they forget their real estate agent's name. That is crazy. So if they don't even remember your name, how are they going to call you to have you help them again? And so, yes, there are ways around that. You do a closing gift that is branded with your name. You put it in somewhere conspicuous. You put it on something that they touch and they see every day. That's why realtors give Cutco knives that have their logo and their name on it. It's because they hope that you touch your knives. They hope you set it out on your kitchen counter and you look and you see their name, their logo, their phone number all the time, and you don't forget it. Another way realtors get around this is anniversary marketing. There are so many ways to do this, but it is so hard to turn one sale into multiple, either through repeat business or through a referral. But when you work with investors, you are guaranteed, even if we're helping a small potatoes investor that can only handle a flip every other month, that's still 6 sales for the year that you're getting. And that you didn't have to market for. Like you just did a good job. You did a good job helping them out, making their lives easy, got them as much money as possible. You didn't bother them too much, and they like you and they're going to continue to use you. So in my opinion, discounting my commission um is fine. I am happy to do so because I love it. And also for an investor, it's completely non-emotional. Like Cody has no feelings about it. He's not going to call me at 10:30 at night crying because he had to pay for the buyer's home warranty. Like those things just don't happen. Where when you're working with a retail buyer, sometimes you kind of turn more into like um, you know, a bit of a counselor. Like you're talking people off the edge, you're managing people's emotions and feelings more than you're just doing your actual job. And for this, I'm just doing my actual job. So that was a really long way to say, if you're a realtor and you're not working with investors, at this point, I don't know what to tell you, but I don't want realtors to look at fix and flippers like they're the enemy or wholesalers are the enemy. You can make a lot of money by getting to know this side of the business and having a couple sales that are just like super nice and easy. So I'm going to open escrow. One of the things that I like to do is kind of have like a pre-canned thing. And with like Pace and Cody, I help them all the time. So I have like a pre-canned email that I'm gonna send to title. And I'm sending it to title again. I'm just doing this as like just to show everyone what I'm up to. I don't with this title agent, she knows us, so I don't have to tell her any of this, but I'm just showing you what I would do if I didn't know this title agent, and whatever, this is fine. So I have a pre-canned email that has, because the first thing that you do when you open escrow is they're like, send me all of your seller's information. I need to know X, Y, and Z. And it's just better in so many ways in my life. Like handling as much volume as I do and I don't have a TC is one of the best things that I can do is to kind of make my life a little bit easier, is to get ahead of a lot of these things. There's nothing worse than someone coming to you and saying, hey, I need your seller's information. Hey, I need your seller's information. Hey, I need your seller's information. Hey, you didn't get me this. Can you get me this? And you've got like 9 million things going on. So like, while I'm opening escrow, I'm already sitting here. I'm already looking at it. The file is already open on my desktop. I might as well just give them everything. So right after I send my please open escrow email, I'm also going to send title my here's my seller's information. So I'm going to go ahead and send that. And again, everything, how I title everything's like super easy to find. And I'm going to send my pre-canned email that I send to everybody. So it has the seller's phone numbers and emails, their mailing address, and then I'm going to send them all of their corporate documents. So if you're representing an investor, 100% title is going to ask for your articles, your operating agreement if they have one. They're going to want to know their EIN. And for this particular entity, they're there's two owners and both of them are really busy. Regardless if this is, Pace and his partner or not, it's any investor that I'm working with. It just so happens I'm opening escrow on a Pace deal. But Pace and Cody found that getting them both together in the same title office or with the same notary is just logistically impossible because they're both crazy busy. So they've created a corporate resolution that will allow for a sole signer. So if you ever do like a JV LLC between you and another investor, if I got some investors here watching, have title can prepare this. You don't have to hire an attorney to do this. Have them prepare a corporate resolution for your LLC to allow one of you to sign closing documents. Then I make sure to tell them what my commission split is, because the other thing title is going to immediately ask me is like, what's the commission splits? And I like to include my listing agreement and the MLS plano, because the MLS plano is like your marketing thing, and it's where I'm posting publicly to the other realtor and thus their broker what is being offered to pay them. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to attach the corporate structure documents. And I work with them so often, whether or not it's them or not, it's just in my Dropbox and I can just readily access it. So the longer you work with an investor, the more that you'll just have information like this. So I'm just going to send this straight over to title. She's going to laugh at me. She'll probably send me a message and be like, I know. We do a ton of deals with you, but I'm just showing you what that is. So the other thing you do when you do it, and I did this a little bit out of order, I should have done this first, is you're going to do your please open escrow email. And I'm just, you always want to be nice and say, I'm excited to work with you all. And you don't have to attach every single document for the contract. Like you don't have to put their pre-qual or whatever. I'm going to include I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to include their lender's information as well. So you send it to title and you send it to the lender so that they all have it. And the first thing that the lender is going to do is they're going to reach out to title and ask for their title and escrow fees for the buyers so that they can prepare their initial disclosures to the buyer, because they have to, be disclosed to with, their loan estimate. And then they have to do like an intent to proceed. So the more I can get over to everybody to make everyone's life easier, that, I'm not forgetting to copy the lender. I'm not forgetting to copy, I'm not forgetting to copy the buyer's agent so she doesn't know that this was done. The more you do up front, the easier it makes everyone's life. And it also, everything that we do as a realtor is like a timeline, and it just starts everyone off on these good timelines, nice and easy. So I got that over to the lender. And again, sorry, I put that off screen just for privacy purposes. But now I'm going to show you how I personally file everything, if that's all right with everybody. So I'm going to share my screen one more time with everybody. Because I'm not done yet. It's easy, but I'm not done yet. Okay, cool. All right, so then everyone knows that I put everything in Dropbox. I've got all my files here, and I'm just going to start moving everything over. So I'm waiting again on the buyer to sign the addendum changing title companies, but I'm just going to get it in there, and I titled it seller sign. That way I remember what's going on. And then I'm just getting everything over, and everything I separate it. A lot of times offers from agents come over in like one PDF with all of these different documents combined into one. And I personally don't like that. And so I separate everything because I need to know in my mind and my checklist, like what I'm missing. And if it helps anybody, I created like my own, checklist for like what I think you need in your contract, and I can share it with people if you want. But I've done it so many times, it's just in my head. But if you're a newer agent or you're training a TC to help you out, I'm more than happy to share my little checklist I created for myself. So then the next thing that I need to do is I need to make sure that my broker knows that I have misdirect requests. What the heck? Let's open it in Chrome. I need to make sure that my broker knows that the property is under contract. So I'm going to get this over to her. Oops. This is why I don't like using Chrome. I like using Safari. Let's try Safari one more time. There we go. Okay. So everyone saw me put in my listing, but now I'm going to put in my accepted contract. So I'm going to edit my transaction here. Today is the accepted date and we're closing. Oh my gosh, I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't want to open up the thing. So we're 4:30. I'll put the buyer's info in here later once I'm stopped sharing, but I'm going to upload my documents. So I'm not going to upload unexecuted documents to my broker because it just doesn't make sense, but I'm going to upload the contract documents that are complete. So I'm going to get all of these over here and get them into here. Oh, cool. That's already in there. Okay. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is I need to now let everyone know publicly that this property is under contract. And some people feel differently. Sometimes agents will not move the listing from active until earnest money is in. But I am going to do it now because technically you should do that. So I'm going to change my listing and I'm going to mark it pending. So this is what it looks like on the back side. So Dickens, and I forget how to spell her name, Shelly. Maybe it's Dickenson with an E. There she is. And then I'm going to mark it not pending. I'm going to mark it UCB, which is under contract backup. So that means that like we'll still, accept a backup. So we accepted it today. I'll pull the close date. 4:30 is the price. And again, this won't be public knowledge until it closes. Oops. And then it's a conventional loan, 30-year fixed. And then it's really rare for a seller to pay any concessions to the buyer. So there's none of that. So I'm going to finish this off screen so that I can get a little bit more personal information in here. But that's what it looks like on the back side. I know that sounds pretty goofy, but it's so easy. But this is what it looks like. So we're closing June 7th, which is nice. All right, I'm going to start resharing again, if that's all right with everybody, because then I'm going to show you one extra little thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, and then I'm also going to save the MLS Plano as in my Dropbox as well. And I'm going to put this into paperless pipeline too. So I have my MLS active, and now I'm going to have my MLS UCB for this house in here. All right, so I'm going to get in my Dropbox, and then I will also get it into paperless pipeline to my broker. So now what it looks like is it now will syndicate automatically to Zillow and Realtor.com and all those other things, and it will let everyone know that this property is now under contract, and it also lets all realtors know that we do have an offer, but we're willing to accept backups. So that is about, let's see, that might not have been have shared to you guys. I'm so sorry. Anyways, but that's it. So now escrow is opened with title. The lender knows that there's an accepted contract and they've been connected with title. The buyer's agent has been copied on that email, so she knows that I reach out to title and her lender. I also sent title all of my sellers' information, their mailing address, their EIN, all their corporate docs, the commissions and the splits. I sent the buyer's agent the insurance claims history report and my CBS code, and we have a mechanical lockbox on the property so that the home inspector, termite inspector, etc., if she wants to have like a roof inspector or someone go over there, that they can all get into the property. And that kind of kicks off the beginning process. So this kicks off the buyer's inspection period. It starts today. It'll get the lender cooking on their disclosures. It will get title cooking on opening their file. And again, we have a hold open policy, so it's pretty cool. So not only will my investor get investor title rates, but they'll also be getting a discount for a hold open policy. Here's my baby.
Someone was playing on the door and it said, take a picture of it. And Mom and my lady said, oh no.
Oh yeah. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hello. Simon was put this on the door.
Oh.
And I don't know who put it on the door.
Thank you. Let's take care of it when Mommy's done. See, almost done.
I'm going to put it right here.
Thanks. That's really nice. And then this is probably the goofiest part about my system, and people laugh at me, but I love writing things down in ink. I think that people think that I have like some sort of like filing system that's like super amazing, but this is really funny. But I have a notebook. It's just like a stupid, like cheap notebook from Amazon, and I just, have like 10 of these in my drawer. I used to use like a yellow pad, but it reminded me of my dad. My dad's a contractor, and like in a funny way for a while. But I love to write all my active listings, all my pending listings and closed. And then I have like a checklist for them, because as I'm going through this, like there are things that are going to come up like right away, and they change all the time. So if I'm waiting for an appraisal back, if I need to respond to a Benzer, if I'm waiting on whatever it is, I like to actively each day update my notebook. And so I just use something like this where I can tear out the pages and continually rewrite my lists. And that's probably not the way that anybody should do something. It's hilarious, but I've like done it for so long. And again, I was a TC for Treehouse for 65 agents. And I don't know, it just makes sense to me. So, don't judge me. So I've got on my active, notebook page, I've got Coolidge, and here's what I need to do. I needed to get spuds and clue, but when I got the clue back from the insurance agent, I took it off. But I'm going to get this off my active sheet, and I'm going to put it on my pending sheet. So I'm going to cross it out, and I need to rewrite this. I'll rewrite it today. But I'm going to move Coolidge over here. And I always put my closing date, and I put them in order. So we're June 7th. I love that. I just like love filling up my months with like closings. It's like, I would just get a super jazzed about it. So that's my first closing for June. And I got one for the first week of June. That was a close call that I wasn't going to have one. I love closing a house at least once a week. So yeah, and I just wrote myself a little note of like the next thing that I need to do. And that's about it. So I know that's like super goofy, but I hope that someone thought that was interesting to see what it looks like. Does anyone have any questions for me in chats? And again, this just shows you that I'm actually 35 years old, that I prefer, as much as like as good as I am digitally, like it's not like I don't use my notes app or use my calendar. I'm not saying I carry around a paper calendar or something like that, but I love having a tangible piece of paper that I can write with a pen on, and I don't know. I prefer this for like immediate stuff. But yeah, I know this is kind of a little bit more specific to agents and TCs to watch this, but does anyone have any questions for me? You missed everything, Jake. I'm sorry. Lily, I did do a listing video where I listed this actual house on Friday for the weekend. So you can check it out. I did everything live, which is pretty cool, but you can watch the whole thing. For bookkeeping, do you use Excel spreadsheets or do you pay for a program like QuickBooks? So, for my real estate business, I keep track of my own stuff, but for our fix and flip business, 100% everything gets run through our accountant and she uses QuickBooks. There's not a transaction that goes on that isn't reported to her in Slack, and it's immediately attributed to the property. I think if you're going to do more than one flip, you 100% need to do that because there is nothing worse than not knowing what your reno budget is, like what you've done, what you've spent. That's like a whole other video for another day. But yeah, you have to track that. And our accountant reconciles all of our accounts, like saying I have multiple business accounts, I have multiple credit cards is not a reason for not keeping track of your expenses. Every time you spend money for a house, it needs to be tracked against that house. Every time you give your contractor a draw, you need to know where they are in the progress of that. And if you're over, like, you have to track that. So yeah, QuickBooks. Anybody else have I know no one could see my screen on Instagram. I'm sorry. At the beginning of the Instagram live, I actually said that you won't be able to see my screen, unfortunately. You'll just get to see my mug. But if you wanted to see my screen, you have to come to YouTube. But I'll post this on YouTube when I'm done so you guys can see it. And again, it wasn't my screen the whole time because there is people's personal information on here. That's not their thing. So I am only licensed in Arizona. I like it that way. I could probably do something else. Hey, Tino, what's up, my guy? If anyone else has any questions, just let me know, or you guys can send me a message on Instagram. How could I, as an investor, be an asset to my wife, who is a realtor, and vice versa? Oh my gosh, so many ways. Since you already have a realtor in the family, you can do exactly what Pace and I do anytime that you need to do anything on MLS. So if you're buying a property because you're MLS mining and you're looking for deals, she can represent you as the buyer's agent and get a buyer's agent commission, which helps. And if you start fix and flipping, she can list your fix and flips for you at a discount. Or if you guys need to find a tenant, like if you guys decide you want to do a buy and hold and you want to keep a property and find a tenant, she can help you do that. She can help you do property management. She can do so much for you. And that's amazing that your wife is already licensed. There's a lot of people that reach out to me that want their significant other to get involved in real estate or get involved in their business. And having them get their license is a really easy way to add value to both of your lives. You both can equally help each other. So yeah, let's see. Is there a Zoom coming up with me and Elena? Yes. I actually feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I think that Elena wants to kind of have a party, but really quick, so everyone knows, Elena Cardone is a licensed realtor just like me. And she has built out an amazing team on EXP. And I am going to be joining EXP Realty as soon as my little paperwork is done. And I have never been more excited or flattered to be a part of it. And so if anyone would like to have a place to hang their license that is Cardone adjacent, which I am flabbergasted that I'm being given this opportunity, and 100% it's coming from Pace because I'm married to Pace. Pace is the magic maker in my world. He's the visionary. He's the rainmaker. I am incredibly lucky. I kind of want to tear up a little bit. I don't deserve this opportunity, but I am the realtor for us. And so, yeah, I got to have lunch with her and she wants me to be underneath her, which is really cool. But if you would like to be with me, I would love for agents to come and be with me. I'd love to help people out. Not only are Pace and I going to be offering a lot of trainings and courses underneath this, but also Elena and Grant Cardone do a lot of training, and they have really cool people that come in that's only available to their agents. And so if you want to join me, everyone, it can be nationwide. You don't have to be in Arizona. You don't even have to be in the USA. If you're a realtor and you want a place to put your license, come be with me at EXP. And yeah, there are commission splits, and I know some agents don't like that, but you're paying for the proximity to legends. Like Elena and Grant are legendary. So if like people pay Grant tens of thousands of dollars to have him talk to them, and if you get to have Grant help do a sales training for you, you get to hear Elena, you get access to all of their tools that they're building out, their own community. That is worth every single penny. So yeah, if anyone like any more information about that, please DM me on Instagram or send me an email. My email is lauramorby@icloud.com. We can get on a call with her team. It's amazing. I'm like so grateful. I don't even know what to say. And I'm super excited about it. Like really, really, really excited. So yeah, 10X all the way. Absolutely. Yep. So yeah, if anyone wants to know any more information about being with EXP under the Elena Cardone, send me an email, lauramorby@icloud.com. Send me a message on Instagram, whatever you want. Text me. My phone number is everywhere. You can text me, call me, whatever you want. But yeah, but I hope everyone thought this was interesting. Again, I'm just one person, you know, like everyone does things differently, but I hope I gave some cool tips and tricks that make my life easier. Or if you're not a realtor and you're watching this, I hope this shows you, you know, people say, please open escrow. Like, what does that mean? When I first got my license, I literally printed out all my documents and I drove to the title company and I like physically handed it to them. Alicia Moore at Fidelity, if anyone's from Arizona, and I'm sure she thought I was like an actual crazy person. That's not what it is. It's exactly what I did. So I hope everyone thought this was amazing. And again, sorry, I'm looking a million different places. I've got a camera for YouTube and I've got my live camera right here on Instagram. So yeah, but anyways, thank you for being here. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. And if anyone wants to have a laugh because you stayed with me till the end. So I bought this dress before I got pregnant and it didn't come until after I was pregnant. And when you're on your third baby, you just like, your body's like, oh, we're doing this again. Time to instantly look pregnant. Anyways, it didn't fit. And I've been dying for this house to fit so everyone can have a nice laugh. And if anyone's a mom, you might think this is funny, but I got it zipped up to like right here. And so I got to show everyone what I did. So Pace was like, oh, that's a cute dress. And I was like, oh, thanks. And I was like, check it out. So it doesn't fit. It doesn't zip. So I just tucked it right in here. So I think that's hilarious that I did that. But anyways, that's your little bonus laugh. I love having a nice laugh. If anybody wants to talk to me, all I want to talk about is funny stuff. So if anyone wants to make me laugh, that's all I want. That's I just, oh my gosh. Anyways, super happy to be here. Again, thanks to Pace for letting me stream on his YouTube. And yeah, what a weekend, you know, like this 3-year-long saga of this house. And we were hoping for 419 and we sold it for 430. Like one weekend couldn't be better. Everything is so great. And so helping someone who really needs a home, get into a home. And this is what it's all about. So feels good. Anyways, how do I make holy water? I have no idea, Lily. Maybe I missed some. Is it a joke? It might be a joke. Lily, if that's a joke, you'll have to tell me the rest of that joke. Anyways, but yeah. And I love that Instagram name, Real Estate Vines. That makes me think about Vine back in the day and like funny videos. So that's a great Instagram name. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to get off so everyone can go enjoy the rest of their lunch if you're having one. Oh my gosh, it's already 1:51. I've talked too long. Apologize, everybody. But thanks for being here with me. If you guys have any questions, again, send me a message on Instagram, text me, call me, send me an email. I don't care. I'd love to help. But I will talk to everyone later.